catch us at KXVS Radio or at thevoiceofstockton.org.
This is Barbara Berrigan-Perea with Delta Flows, a radio show by the Voice of Stockton and Restore the Delta. This is the weekly radio show where we discuss everything Delta related: the environment, water management, water quality, farming, history and culture, public events, recreation, Delta food, and the arts. Tune into Delta Flows on KXVS, the Voice of Stockton, streaming live on Facebook and YouTube at KXVS Radio.
KXVS 92.1 coming soon. KXVS.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS, the Voice of Stockton, or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
KXVS, the Voice of Stockton. It's time for Walk the Talk with your host, Jim T. Chong, the Wokstar.
Welcome here. We are obviously live at KXVS. We are just off the Miracle Mile here in Stockton, California, hitting all the cities and nationwide. And you can join us, of course, on YouTube and also on this fabulous thing called Facebook as well. So we want to welcome you here. This is Jim T. Chong with Walk the Talk, and I have a couple of incredible people here. We are going to be talking about some of the things that really make America great, and that is entertainment. We have with us the queen on the scene, Eileen, with Big City Nitelife. How are you doing?
I'm great, Jim. How are you?
Great. Well, I know you just got back from the PGA Golf Tour. And
yes,
so,
career builder.
Yeah, career builder. Wow, that's great. And you're helping people build their career along the way as well.
No, that's your job, I thought.
Oh, that is.
That's why you're the Wokstar, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, you know, we're going to have a great time finding out about what you do. And then later in the section here, I'll tell you, this is a section on money. And we say that when you have a lot of money, you have how many choices, Eileen?
You have a lot of choices.
And when you have a little bit of money?
You have a few choices.
And what if you have no money?
Your choices get made for you.
That's right. Your choices get made for you. And we want you to be able to be prepared and plan and be able to save a lot of money for those that you love the most. We have with us Brian Wagner, and he's going to be talking about estate planning and also just incorporating a business to really have a plan set in place for your life and for your business. How are you doing today, Brian?
Doing good, Jim. Thanks for having me on.
Great. Well, I am excited about today's show, and I want to go ahead and just mention that KXVS, the Voice of Stockton, is obviously a community-supported radio station, radio show here as well, and we have Governor Don with us. Governor Don, how are you doing here today?
I'm doing fine, Jim. Thanks for asking. How about you, sir?
Great. Well, there's a lot of things happening here in Stockton, California. I know you're in the happening place here right at KXVS, and a lot of people are able to come here, especially if you are with a community, and get your message out as well. Yeah. And membership starts as low as $25 a year, actually. Is that right?
Yeah, actually, we make it even easier than that. You could go right to kxvs.org/join, and you could do it $2 a month, automatic. You won't even notice it. You know, just make it Make it automatic. You know, support this community station and what it's doing. I would say whatever amount is going to be you'll just notice it. Then that's the right amount.
Wow, I love it. I love it, and I think we have a special thing. If you donate $25,000, we will get you free pizza, your own pizza at a pizza parlor, perhaps over at Warlow's just across the way here. Can we do that? Can we make that commitment today, Governor Don?
For $25,000, we will mention your name every hour because we'll put that money towards our tower. So
yeah, and we'll buy you a pizza as well over at Warlow's.
We'll name a pizza after you.
If Jim's involved, it will have extra cheese.
Extra cheese.
Guarantee you.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, throw some olives and mushrooms on there for me.
Well, speaking about the mile, we've been able to visit several places here. Of course, we have the Whiskey Barrel Tavern that is just up the way with Jerry Wolf. And you remember when we had him here last time you were here, Eileen?
Yes, he's a great guy.
And we're looking at building the nightlife here, and we have with us, again, Eileen. She is a queen on the scene with Big City Nightlife. We actually have a Facebook page called Stockton Nightlife because we are starting to build something here. So what do you think of Stockton as a whole, just from your short visits here?
Well, I think Stockton is a great city here in Northern California. It's geographically a positioned place between the Bay Area and Sacramento. I think it's getting ready to experience a big boom. It's still affordable here compared to some other areas in Northern California. So it's exciting to be here in Stockton doing this right now.
The waterways here are incredible if you haven't visited Stockton. But, of course, many of you that are listening here know that we have a downtown area, but we have some incredible waterways here. And Stockton is really the hub of a lot of commerce from the past and even at the present. There's a lot of transporting of just commerce from Stockton, California here.
Oh, our major port area for shipping and receiving is right here in the heart of California, in the heart of Stockton.
That's right. Now, I know you are from primarily Sacramento, so I appreciate you coming up here today, especially after your tour here. You were on the PGA Golf Tour. First off, I just want to go ahead and ask you, for those that may not know what the PGA Tour is and what the PGA stands for, if you can describe that for us, Eileen, that would be really great.
Well, PGA stands for Professional Golfers Association. It's a major governing body for all professional golf throughout the world and country. They are, it's kind of like what the NFL and the NBA are to basketball and football.
Great. And then, we were talking about this one a joke here. I'm going to ask you, Brian, all right? Do you know why golfers wear 2 pairs of pants?
No, Jim. Why do golfers wear 2 pairs of pants?
Well, Eileen, I think you know the answer to this question. Why?
In case they get a hole in one.
Yay. Okay. Hey, that was a good joke. Anyway.
There's that cheese again, Jim. See?
That's right. Well, being on the PGA Tour, just the circuit, what are some places you've had a chance to visit?
Well, I just returned from Palm Springs, Palm Desert, California. What a beautiful and lovely area that is. Where Coachella is going to be is kind of right next door. So kind of gave me a good preview of what I'm in for that. I have been to, this last year I was in New Jersey for the President's Cup. Prior to that, I was in Boston, Massachusetts, Long Island, New York, Chicago for the Women's PGA Championship. That was quite exciting. I've been to Des Moines, Iowa, and Wisconsin for the U.S. Open.
Wow. Now, we were talking, you had a chance to meet some really neat celebrities this last time around as well. You always get a chance to meet them. I'm a little envious, to be honest. But who did you get a chance to meet this time around?
Well, I didn't actually formally meet him. I did offer him a beer, and he declined. That would be Huey Lewis of Huey Lewis and the News.
Well, wait. Now, to do that, didn't you have to meet him to offer him that beer? You said you didn't really meet him?
No, he was, talking to other people, his fans and attendees of the golf tournament. He on Friday night put on a live, concert for people who were at the golf tournament. Prior to the concert, we were getting set up for service, and there he was, surrounded by fans. When he walked away from his fans, they said, "Mr. Lewis, would you like a beer or a beverage of some kind?" And he said, "Oh, no, thank you." So if you call that meeting him, I guess I did meet him.
That's great. And you could check out your Facebook page. I saw a little snapshot of that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, here's something I want to ask you. There's this enamel with this little ball getting into a hole, right? And so what is the excitement about that? Watching it, it's kind of hard to get into, to be honest, watching this. Maybe I'm missing something.
Well, first of all, let me tell you, watching golf is a whole lot easier than playing golf. They make it look very, very easy, these professionals, but it is very, very difficult sport and very, very competitive. I mean, you are hitting a little, 1.5 inch diameter golf ball, and you're supposed to put it in a pin that's 500 yards away, over hills, mountains, sand traps, and waterways. So it's not quite as simple as you think. The fact that some of these golfers can put it in to the pin, that's what, instead of the hole, either way.
Yeah.
In 5 or less strokes is quite amazing sometimes.
Wow. Well, I know a little bit about the golf ball. Have you heard about why they have all the indentures, all the indentions in the golf ball? You know why?
Tell me.
You know, they were finding it actually started out round, if the legend serves it correctly, that basically it was just a regular ball. And what happened was when people were hitting it, they found out it was going further. And so they found out that it was more aerodynamic with all the little divots and all the little holes there. And so it actually can go further with the indentations rather than without them if it was smooth.
Well, I've been to the PGA Golf Exposition in Orlando, Florida, where every vendor of every golf product you can imagine comes from all over the world, and they've got it down to such a microscopic science and measurement. I don't know if they can make any of this equipment any better than it already is made.
You know, I would like to say, you know, along with what you're saying here, I mean, wow. So they pretty much have it perfected is what you're saying.
Golf is a $50 billion industry.
$50 billion?
Yes, per year.
Wow. That's pretty big.
Pretty significant.
Oh, okay. Well, that's probably a lot more money than legalized marijuana, right? Well, anyway, that's a whole other discussion.
For now.
For now. But, you know, I want to go ahead and just make a statement here, just in terms of even Stockton. We've been through a few hits. You know, there's been a few digs in Stockton, and I believe with the experience of going through what we call life as a community, individually, as a city, I believe it makes us poised to really do great things, really go further than other cities. And things that happen here in Stockton, I usually say, really can serve as a milestone and as an example to other cities as well, the good and the bad. And so there was a time when Stockton was really the pinnacle of real estate, and everyone looked to Stockton for just great investments.
Well, I think it's a sleeping giant at the current moment, but I don't think that moment is going to last too much longer.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I hope it emerges here real soon. And so, you know, again, I just want to throw out there again, if you donate $25,000 to KXVS, the Voice of Stockton, what do they get?
Extra cheese with their pizza.
That's right. You get the pizza, you get the whole pie. And so you can go to KXVS.org and do a donation there. But you are a premium bartender and leisure concierge. And so, hey, I had to chuckle
I'm very
there.
Proud of you for pronouncing that correctly.
Inside joke here. Now, we can tell you're not an average bartender just by being on the PGA golf circuit. You also work at the home of the Kings there, the arena there, the Global One Center, right?
That's why I'm the queen.
That's right. And what makes a premium bartender in your mind?
In my mind, it makes a premium bartender is someone who has a well-rounded realm of experience, from fine dining to festival to outdoor to private events. And I have all of that under my belt. So that's why, you know, that's what I would, you know, determine the difference between a bartender and a premium level bartender.
Wow. Now you are building out Big City Nitelife. That's Nitelife. Big City Nightlife. You are the queen on the scene, and you know you call yourself a leisure concierge. Now I did get that right?
I am so proud.
I used to call it concierge, but I
you
guess
are
it's
a Wokstar,
concierge.
I must say.
So, what is a leisure concierge?
A leisure concierge is someone who provides information on what to do, things to do, where the fun is, for a particular area. That is kind of the inspiration for my business. So people have 15 years attending bar. I've gotten that question thousands of times. What is there to do around here? So for people who are not familiar with the area they're in, they usually, you know, a bartender is a great person to ask, well, where's the fun at? So, leisure concierge.
Wow. Okay. What is the mission statement of Big City Nightlife?
Big City Nightlife's mission is to provide a one-stop shop, locally, you know, focused, that provides information and resources on what there is to do in your time that you're off the clock from work. If you want to actually start a career in the hospitality business, we have those resources available for you there as well.
All right. So it is a resource pool of just places to visit?
A one-stop shop.
Okay. What is nightlife? I mean, a lot of people can perceive nightlife in different ways. What is nightlife by your definition?
My definition is anything that happens when the 9 to 5 is over.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, anything you look to do for fun, anything you are desiring to do of your own volition, not somewhere you have to report to because somebody else wants you to.
Well, that's where the fun happens, right?
That's the
outside
definition
of the
fun,
work
is
hours.
it not?
Oh, it is, absolutely. Now, you know, you're creating this. It's a pretty ominous task. I know you have Sacramento Nightlife in Sacramento, and we are going to be building out Stockton Nightlife here as well. So what is your background that caters to you being able to provide this level of service and pulling together resources for a city for a nightlife?
Well, I have been a professional bartender in Sacramento for 15 plus years. Before that, I was in customer service for, so total of 25 years dealing with the public. I have traveled the country working for the PGA and various music festival producers and big food and beverage companies. So having all that experience hands-on, I believe, is what makes me qualified. I've dealt with people for a long time. I enjoy people very much.
Yeah, I know. I've been able to connect with some pretty remarkable people with you over on Rush Hour for Success, Live Strong America in Sacramento, our radio show there on Money 105.5. I was able to meet, of course, Adam Reyes, who's known as Shorty. And I know he'll be also performing as well this weekend. But also meeting Keith Breedlove. I love his name, Keith Breedlove.
Oh, such a perfect name for him.
Yeah, he breeds love. And you shared during, I think it was during the fires when there was just a lot of need there. He did something very special to support the people.
So one of the
out
many
there.
reasons his last name should be Breedlove. When the fires were happening in Sonoma, Napa, all that this last summer, the tragedy was unfathomable. The pictures that we were seeing on Facebook were just heartbreaking. This man, this chef, professional chef, he owns Culinardy brand, and he owns the Culinardy. He is a self-proclaimed, very proud nerd and fellow nerd, I have to say. He has a food truck called Culinardy Cruder. He has been on TV, Guys Grocery Games. He's a Food Network regular. He stopped everything he was doing on his normal schedule, asked everyone that he knew for donations, compiled all those donations, and went up, I think, for a whole week straight and just fed all the people who had lost their homes and lost their restaurants and lost their lives, you know, in without any warning whatsoever. So he was, he just did that without any prompting. So I just have so much respect for him.
So he's not somebody that just thought about doing something good. He actually did it.
He stays true to his name. He serves his name very well.
Wow, that's really wonderful. I want to mention just with the people that are out there and you're listening, there are some great things that you can do. And I know Mr. Breedlove, he is a celebrity chef. He's been on several programs on the Food Network. Do you know some of the programs he's been on?
Well, he's a regular guest on Good Day Sacramento on Fox 40 in the morning. He has been on Guys Grocery Games. With all those kitchen challenge shows, he's mentored young people and young up-and-coming chefs, I mean, as young as 7 years old, who want to be, celebrities in their own right. Yeah. So he's quite a good guy.
Well, it was great meeting him through you, and a wonderful guy, and perhaps we can get him here sometime.
I think he's ready. He's excited.
Wow, that's great. Well, I know he'll have to live up to his name, but I know he's got.
We'll see if we can get him to drive the Culinardy Cruder out here to Stockton.
Oh, that would be so awesome.
And show these people what real food's all about, huh?
Right. And I know we're going to be going down to Taps Bar and Grill as well soon here, and I'm going with Eileen to check out their system here. We're going to be talking to Sabashi as a creator of the Pour Your Own Beer system, and you can find out a little bit more about it. We're going to be reporting some of the things about that at the website is ebeer.us, and that's at Taps Bar and Grill right next to the main theater in downtown Stockton at 222 North El Dorado Street. But I know you have big plans here going into this year for big city nightlife. Anything you can share with us before we move on to Brian?
Well, please visit the Facebook page, bigcitynightlife.com. We have a website, Stockton Nightlife or Sacramento Nightlife. Please, we keep that page those pages updated regularly. So that's the way to stay in touch. Get in touch with me if you're part of a band or you have the latest and greatest, burger on the market. I'd love to, highlight you and let the people know you're out there.
Right. What about the latest and greatest rice dish? Can we still reach you?
I'm going to refer him to you.
Okay.
You're the Wokstar.
Oh, all right. Well, hey, I just wanted to see if that was part of the nightlife, So I'm very excited because I know you're going to be building Big City Nightlife out in a great way this year, going in 2018. and I've appreciated the people that you've brought to our show in Sacramento, and perhaps we'll be bringing some of them here. And actually, we had Shorty here calling in as well, and so it's exciting here. And I know he's going to be performing. Do you have the details of his performance by chance? I know you're going to be looking it up there, so. As you'll
see it posted on the Sacramento Nightlife and Big City Nightlife Facebook
there we
pages.
go. Okay, so and again, you can go to
the link with the map and everything included right there.
Right. Okay. So bigcitynightlife.com.
Nitelife.
Yeah. So that's the new way to spell it. That's going to be emerging way to spell it.
That's the right way.
That is the right way.
You can't go wrong with that way.
That's right. You can't go wrong. Well, that is so true. But now we have somebody that's really white all the time. That is Brian Wagner. So, Brian, how are you today?
Doing good, Jim. How are you doing today?
Good. Now, I know you're with this company, and if you can go ahead and say the name of your company.
Absolute Legal Document Preparation.
Okay. So, I assume that's what you do, right?
Yes, sir. My partner and I... we do legal document preparation, primarily estate planning, incorporations, formations of nonprofits, and divorce and custody issues.
Okay. And I know also just in what you do, you see a lot of where people are at, but you're able to really help them as well, put something into place. And can you tell us the importance of estate planning? But before you do that, can you define what estate planning is?
Yeah. When you pass away, if you have a will or you have nothing prepared, then you have to go through the process of probate. If you have a living trust and it's prepared properly, you can avoid the probate process. So the probate process is where all your debts are settled that you accrued and are still outstanding at the time of your death. And the process is very expensive, and it could take up to 2 years for your children to receive your property or your heirs to receive their property. For example, the Stockton record charges $8.99 just to publish the probate after you paid almost $600 to file, and that's just to start the process. It takes, again, 2 years to receive it. Average cost is about 7% of your estate value to the attorney and to the executor. When you have a living trust, you can avoid the probate process completely as long as you keep up on it when you acquire new property and make sure it's in the name of the trust. All your beneficiary forms are filled out correctly for your retirement accounts. Your life insurance is designated correctly via the beneficiary forms as to either the trust or directly to the kids. So it's very important to have all that in place just to save your kids 2 years of hassle. The paperwork requirements are extensive, and it takes a long time to get everything settled out.
Wow. Well, a little bit of preparation can go a long way. And with what you're providing here, why is it important to have a estate plan in place? You kind of inferred it, but there is the monetary consequence, of course. What other consequences are there?
Medi-Cal recovery is probably the biggest consequence. When you form a living trust, you are exempt, or the property in the trust, if prepared properly, is exempt from Medi-Cal recovery. So most people don't know that when you go into long-term care, your supplement will drop you, and you will have to spin down your own money until you get to a minimum balance to qualify for Medi-Cal. They do let you retain your home and a vehicle, but when you pass, if you have a spouse, they will be allowed to remain in the home until they pass, and then they'll recover against your property. So a lot of people work their whole lives to get a house paid off to leave it to their kids. They get sick without proper preparation, end up in a nursing home for 3 or 4 years, and now they've lost that legacy that they've worked their whole life for to provide to their kids.
Doesn't that strike you kind of odd that it just doesn't automatically go to the kids?
Well, no. I mean, in our society, it's really the focus is personal responsibility, right? And if you don't make the necessary preparations, then it's on you and your estate to settle your debts, and that's one more debt that you could accrue.
Yeah. Wow. So, just taking some time, doing it now is going to save you a lot of heartache, a lot of grief, and more importantly, for those that you love, it's going to really put them in a peace of mind. At least they know what needs to happen, because it pretty much executes what needs to be done in the event that you do pass. Is that correct?
Yes. Our living trust package, for example, normally $825 is $500 till the end of January, and you get a living trust package. You get a pour-over will for one for each spouse, powers of attorneys for each spouse, burial instructions, all your grant deeds necessary to transfer your property. And, you can initiate that for your parents. If your parents are unwilling to listen, you can, talk to them, bring us in there, and we could explain the costs involved with probate and why they might want to initiate it. But Medi-Cal recovery is one of the biggest concerns, along with the cost of probate, definitely. Two very good reasons to put this together. It takes a couple hours of your time, and then...
So people just need to put in 2 hours or so?
Yeah, 90% of them, yes. If you have a large, complicated estate, then it's going to take a little bit longer. But generally, you fill out the form, it takes 20 minutes. You make a few phone calls, talk to a few people, so they agree to handle things and take over when you pass. Generally, it's your kids, and they're fine with it. And then once we have the paperwork back, give us a week to complete it, and we'll deliver it all marked up where you have to get it notarized with instructions on what you need to record.
Yeah, that just makes sense to have everything in place in the event that something was to happen, because we know that this statistic is true. Everyone that has been born has also passed away, and it seems like the going trend.
Yeah,
and
the death rate's 100% so far.
It's pretty interesting how we can, unfortunately, to use a strong word, neglect some of the things that are pretty obvious just to put in place. And please, if you love those that are around you, don't procrastinate on this one. This one makes a big, big difference. And if you want to keep the estate, you want to create your legacy, you want to be able to have something in place when you need it. So, any other final words regarding trust itself and estate planning?
Well, we look at the estate as a whole. We also take a look at even your car insurance, your life insurance, and we review it and make sure that you don't have any liabilities out there. If you have a trust with a lot of property in it, but your business isn't in it, and you're underinsured on your vehicle, which is your most likely way of generating a large liability is a vehicle crash. We show that to you, so we can advise you, hey, go to your agent and purchase this. I have my insurance licenses, so I can give that advice as well.
Yeah, one thing is pretty interesting. Anything can happen at any given time, and I want you to think about this. Are we really guaranteed tomorrow? Can we really guarantee we won't have, these are just life situations that happen, a heart attack, a stroke, something in life that disable us? You want to have these things in place, because it's not just for you, it's for those that you love. I'm also with an organization, Healings in Motion. You can find out more about them, healingsinmotion.org. Great organization to give to. They deal with stroke awareness. Also, they help with caregiver support as well, tools here. And they're a local entity here in Stockton, California, serving the greater community out here. But the fact that anything can happen is so true. I was driving. I was talking to you, Brian, about this one person who will be nameless at this time. but it was pretty interesting. I was just driving along. I was about ready to exit, and all of a sudden I hear this car that just runs right inside and hits my car pretty hard, and it just bounced over. And I talked to the driver, and it wasn't that he was even doing anything wrong. He hit some sort of a pothole or something, and he actually just moved his car and just really hit my car pretty hard. I was thankful there wasn't too much damage, and there was no real injury. But it just says that anything can happen at any time.
I was a farmer's agent for a couple of years, and I saw, they send in the claims folks to tell you stories so that you know how to properly express the importance of good liability limits to your clients. And there a million stories of someone driving down the road, something snaps on their suspension, and they plow into another vehicle, and someone's life is lost. And you're liable for all of their income from their age to their retirement age, plus, loss of consortium and their contributions to their family, and you could generate millions of dollars in liability. And if you have 100, 300 from your average run-of-the-mill discount insurance store, they're going to cut them a check for $100,000, and you're going to get sued for the rest of it. And there are file cabinets full of judgments against people who caused a car accident and will never have the money to pay it back. And sometimes the judge doesn't let you declare bankruptcy on liability awards.
I thought bankruptcy pretty much wipes out everything depending on the type of bankruptcy that you have, any of the debt, or at least puts them on hold.
It depends on the circumstances surrounding the accident. If alcohol was involved, no. You owe that debt for the rest of your life.
Wow.
If, recklessness was involved, so they look at your speed and behavior, and the judge could deny it. And those judgments can be reaffirmed 3 times, 10 years each. It's 30 years and accruing interest.
Wow.
And they can garnish your wages, and it destroys marriages, and it destroys families. And it's very important to have your assets separated into a trust, which is a separate entity that holds them so that the liability can't be transferred, and to make sure that you have proper liability limits on your car, and make sure you have good life insurance in case something happens to you and your family needs to pay the mortgage and feed themselves, and your income's gone.
Wow. Well, I want you to just think about this. Brian is helping people deal with their estate planning. And how can people reach you, Brian?
You can go to our website, AbsoluteLegalDocs.com. You can email us at AbsoluteDocs@yahoo.com. Or you can call us at 209-707-2055. My partner, Amber, and I went to law school here in Stockton, and we have our Juris Doctorates. And she has her MBA in international business. We also can help people with preparation of contracts and a few other legal items. Everything's listed on our website, and you can take a look at what we offer.
Dan, can you give your website name again?
AbsoluteLegalDocs.com.
AbsoluteLegalDocs.com. Okay. Well, something I wanted to ask you about. There's a lot of business owners, especially here in Stockton, but so many new emerging business owners. What about incorporation? How can you help people in terms of being incorporated?
Yeah, we do corporate formation, LLCs, S corps, nonprofit formation. And it's a great way to save a lot of tax money. A lot of people who are sole proprietors, they're making $100,000 a year, and they're paying 15% self-employment tax, and that's paid on 100% of what they bring in. Now, that does build up their Social Security faster than if you're incorporated, but I don't think the trade-off is worth it. For example, when you form an LLC or an S corp, you can engage in what's called corporate tax splitting, where 40% of your income is W-2 and 60% is taken as a dispersal as a shareholder. So what that means is you only pay 15% on the 40 that you're W-2'd on. So you save 15% of 60, or 9% of your income in taxes. So if you make $100,000 a year, you save $9,000 a year.
Well, if that's confusing to you over the radio without any visual, that's okay. I'm Asian, so I do math. That's even confusing to me. Did you catch all that, Eileen?
Yeah, I'm like, you're very interested.
If you make $50,000 a year as a plumber and you incorporate, you'll save $4,500 on what you would have paid in taxes.
Wow.
If you make
that's more than a month's salary.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's 9%.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you make $100,000, it's $9,000. It's 9%. It's pretty simple math.
It's like working a month for free.
Yeah. I mean, you have to pay a little bit to an accountant. I would recommend, at least for the first couple of years, to help you do your taxes so you don't make any mistakes. But beyond that point, a lot of people,
like it's worth it though.
It's definitely worth it, because there's no way you're paying your accountant $9,000 to do your taxes. It's just not.
So do you just? Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
Do you just do the corporate business formation paperwork and the estate planning, or do you do anything with like custody paperwork or family court stuff?
My partner does the divorce and family court paperwork.
Wonderful. So you have a well-rounded amount of services in your office there.
Yes, we're not attorneys, but we both do have our law degree, so we can't give any advice. But if you have a question, we can lay out the law to you, explain what happens depending on which course of action you take, and then you make your decision, and then we move forward from there.
Yeah, understood.
And if you do need advice of counsel, all of our friends are lawyers because we went to school with them.
Birds of a feather.
So we can get them on the phone for you. You can ask them questions. They could let you know what to do, and then we can move forward from there if necessary, and that doesn't cost anything extra generally.
Right. Well, I'm your friend, and I'm not a lawyer, so not all your friends are lawyers, but a lot of your friends are lawyers.
You're not my friend, Jim.
Wow. Okay.
He told
I'm
you,
just
didn't
kidding.
he?
Oh, yeah, I did. I
He
did.
walked
Well,
your world.
you know,
I think
he
he
did.
I think no. You know what he did? He
Throwdown.
swiped left on you. He
That's
just
right. He
swiped
swiped left. Well, you know what? Talk to the hand. No, we have a lot of fun. Brian and I are actually really good friends, or we were really good friends at one point in time. But I want to mention this is so very important. I'm also in the financial arena. We help people learn how money works and how money doesn't work. How it's not intended to be used. Like you don't take that wrench and pound away at a nail, right? You get a hammer. You take the right instrument and use it the right way. And that's what Brian does as well. And so you can go to AbsoluteLegalDocs.com to reach out to Brian, and he can give you some great advice on setting up your estate plan, also dealing with incorporations, and of course having resources to help you if you are unfortunately having to go through a separation or a divorce.
Yeah, and through my financial services wing, then we can help you invest your money. We can help make sure you're insured properly and make sure that you're 100% covered for the end of your life. You won't have to do anything except, cross over. But
Do you have a phone number too?
What's that?
Phone number?
209-707-2055 or 844 for law aid.
That's good. That's good. So think about just the things that were shared here today. And, I know Eileen had Nitelife, Stockton Nitelife, and again, it's Nitelife.com. That's for all of my white friends, but also my Wong friends too. So, were you going to say something, Brian?
Oh no, I was just wondering what free time was.
That is a very good point. Time is not free. No matter how rich you are, you can't buy more. That's one of my sayings.
Definitely have to find time to make it out and check out what you guys have to offer.
It's exciting to see the multitude of things that we have to do here, right here in Stockton, California. The waterways, the Miracle Mile. We have many restaurants. I know we're working hard just to try to make sure that the city itself is all unified and working together. And I realize that song Kumbaya. Do you remember that song? Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. It's all about bringing things together. People aren't naturally all brought together. It takes effort.
It does. We are the world.
Yeah, we are the world. Is there a song that you can think about that's all about bringing people together?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
No,
okay.
not really.
I like to buy the world.
So,
if someone in your family is passed and they didn't prepare, We can help with the probate management.
But it's a lot better to get it
I
prepared.
can tell
ahead
you
of
that's
time.
so important, though. It really is a good useful service.
Yeah, I mean, our average client that has to file probate, our fees, close to $1,500 to $2,000, and they have to spend another $2,000 just to file.
That really is what life can be all about if you choose to make it about that. And I want you to think about, what is the meaning of your life? Why are you here? What do you want to accomplish in 2018? We want you to think about how this year can be a strong year for you. We have our cell phone. I was telling Eileen, this is our IA machine. You know what that's called?
The Instant Asian machine?
The Instant Asian machine. You can go to this thing called YouTube, look up any song, put the word karaoke behind it, start singing, and yes, you too can be Asian.
Wait, can I? I think it actually should be the instant noodle.
The instant noodle?
Yeah, you'd call the brain the noodle.
Oh,
and
yeah.
This is a hand brain, is it not?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Remember when we didn't know the answer to something, we'd just wonder for the rest of our lives?
Remember the Encyclopedia Britannica?
Yeah.
Taking up a whole bookshelf?
37 volumes. I used to ask questions, and random people would tell you a fact, and if it sounded right, that was the truth.
Good
and
enough
just
for
go
me.
with it.
Yeah. Right now, we just Google it, and we can just have a good time. How do they do shows? Hey, we have a quiz out there. We have a secret question. They tell the question. Everyone's probably just Googling it. If they're smart, they'll get the question immediately. I want to go ahead and kick this off over to Governor Don here. And I could give him a hard question like, what do you think of Trump's situation? And should we be pro? Or but we won't go there. We'll go with an easier question here. I know that you love the station so much. You've put together, through your labor of love, just the heart of the community here. There's a lot of the youth. I know that you really have your heart here in Stockton to build this baby, and people can choose to give in a variety of ways, through money, through their time, through their talent. But Governor Don, what do you see for KXVS, the voice of Stockton, in 2018?
All right, well, that's a great question, and I think the answer is pretty simple. We are growing. Last year in December, we reached 5,000 people through social media. Last month, we reached over 100,000 people. So growth is definitely in the mix and in the makings of this year. Of course, that is through social media. So going FM this year is our goal. We've got an antenna sponsor, the Eagles Hall, right there on Bourbon Street, right next to off West Lane, next to West Lane Bowl. And you could, they do hall rentals and things like that, and they have a location there for us to put our antenna up. So we got a place. We have a temporary antenna there, but we really need to expand on that. So going FM is going to be our goal this year. I know you've heard 92.1 FM, and some people are listening to the 92.1. That is a Placerville station if you tune in right now, and we may or may not end up on that frequency. And really, that was to motivate us and the community. And just in case you didn't know, we actually have been granted our FM license. So we're putting in the work now to get on the FM dial, and that's going to take some funds. And we expect and hope that the community steps up, and we know you will. That's going to be big for us. We also want to basically bring on a few more programs that our community needs. There are, a few aspects that we may not be covering as much as we'd like to. Legal advice is a great area. We'd like to get a little bit more youth involvement, and also health care, healthy living, wellness. Those are very important to our community. We have a very diverse community. And so there's a lot of things to consider there. And if we are able to provide health and wellness information and content, I think that'd be a great service to the community as well. But calling all progressively minded and community minded people, make a contribution. Join our network. Become a member. It's super easy. KXVS.org/join. You can make it as painless as you like. Or, drop $1,000 on us. I can tell you this. The money that is spent here is well spent. We waste nothing. We make the most out of what we can do. And we're growing in leaps and bounds. And it's really due to great people with great hearts. The two things that bind us is that we have mutual respect for each other and we love our community. And if you fit into that category, you got a place here.
That's exciting. And I want for all of us to consider, again, just the meaning of our life, what we want it to be. Stockton is a mecca for cause-based organizations, for communities, for nonprofits. And I'll tell you, just thinking and being involved with several community-based organizations myself, it is an art. It takes the right heart to be able to continue to give as well. And I do want to let people know that there are some great things that make nonprofits run very well. There are some things that if you don't have right, there are some critical mistakes that nonprofits can make that will also cause them to fail. And how you can correct them is so very key that you put some things in place. But we're going to be dealing with that in future shows as well. So as we continue on and think about the journey through 2018, I want you to consider, what are you doing to walk your talk? What are you doing to make the people around you better, to make your city better, to make the nation better? And I want you to consider this. Somebody gave their life for your freedom. What will you do with it? And what will you do with your American dream? This is Jim T. Chong, the Wokstar, along with
Queen Eileen
and
Brian Wagner.
This is Walk the Talk. Have a great one. Bye-bye.